Hello everybody, my name is Rolo and today we're reading more Reddit stories. So if that's your cup of tea, please do like and subscribe, and let's get into today's first story. Today's first story comes from the user Botanica Owner Girl with the title, I, 29 female, recently discovered my boyfriend, 32 male of 4 years, has been keeping a blog mocking my business. This is probably going to be a controversial post, as I know Reddit isn't very fond of any religions, especially not ones that aren't mainstream. That might be a weird way of putting it, so I apologize if that offended anyone. I really, truly don't want to. When my abuela died, I inherited the keys to her long-standing Botanica. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a shop run by Latinos whose purpose is to sell religious, esoterica things. We sell the 7-day candles you'll see at memorial sites, herbs, oils, statues, books, services, etc. These are all things I grew up surrounded by and things that mean the world to me. I love them. To me, the scent of Florida water and Hoyt's cologne are home. I took business classes to run the shop properly and it is a successful business. We profit off of it nicely and we made some changes over the years, including services that you can't get at shops around us. We care deeply for all of our customers. I spend about 8 AM to 4 PM there every day and it's like going to my other home. My boyfriend, Thomas, works from home. He does tech work and things like that. He's always been a huge supporter of my business because he knows how much it means to me. He knows it's a part of my cultural heritage, of my life, and of my ancestors and family. He also knows that I do not 100% believe in the things we do. I believe in many of them, but I am not hard-boiled religious and I don't adhere to many religious rules. That's enough backstory. Well, the other day I made us some breakfast. He finished very fast and went out for his morning jog. I asked him if I could use his computer to do a few things since it was right there and I'm a slow eater. He agreed and just turned it over to me. He left on his run and I got to work. I just wanted to do a few accounting type things and also do some research for an upcoming trip we have to Havana. But when I opened his browser, several tabs were open. So I clicked to a different browser so as not to disturb his, since I never know what's work and what's play with him. The other browser had one thing up. The blog. I noticed he didn't use the name of the shop, but there was a clear picture of it, and underneath there were probably 50 entries so far. I didn't go through and read them all, because after I saw the first one, I got the idea. I got the idea clear as day. He was making fun of it. All of it. Everything. My heart shattered. He made fun of the customers, of some of the products we have. One of the things we are known for is an extensive collection of candles for different saints, orishas, and figures. He mocks some of the orishas and their candles and the novenas. What broke my heart the most is that he made fun of the one figure who I like the most, who I don't want to mention because I don't want to offend. I keep a small home altar to the figure and tend to it carefully and with love. He makes fun of the altar and talks about how nonsensical it is and everything. The comments range from nothing to spam to dedicated followers who talk about his crazy girlfriend, how I'm absolutely nuts and he should run away. Who would believe in any of this? A lot of people, and things like that. I was so stunned and absolutely hurt that I had to check how long ago he made it. I saved the address and read through all of it while I was at work and cried. I don't know how to address this with him. He's been keeping the blog for 2 years now. My heart is shattered because our relationship has been nothing but love and smooth sailing, excitement and joy. He never shared my spirituality with me, and it was never something that I requested of him. I even keep my altar out of view out of respect for his own preferences. What do I do? How do we come back from this? To me, it is not just about the spirituality. I have grown up hearing people laugh at it and call it kooky and made up, strange and all of that. But it is my grandmother's business. It is my ancestry and it is my heritage. To me, he is mocking those directly. What do I do? So before I get into the usual ramble, I do want to just apologize for any pronunciation errors in the story because I am not a prolific Spanish speaker. So sorry for that. But into the meat and potatoes of the problem. Your boyfriend just doesn't respect you at all. He doesn't respect your religion or your family's religion, your culture, and I think you should throw him to the curb. The biggest problem to me in this is actually that he's had this blog only for 2 years. Now you might be thinking, Rolo? Only 2 years? Yes, they've been together for 4 years. They've been together 2 years before he started this blog. Before he started trashing this, before he did anything. To your face, he's pretending to be supportive, and then online to the internet, to the strangers, he's showing his true face. And from the sounds of it, if he's not also a Latino, I think he might be a little bit racist. Because what other motivation is there to trash on a religion other than racism? You never see Christianity trashed like this, only religions that come from different cultures. Now, as to what you should do, the petty part of me would take screenshots of everything, make a PowerPoint, like, you know, TikTok, you can find like those how to do PowerPoint things, and you can just make a really elaborate PowerPoint showing all of the posts, all of the comments, and just humiliate him. Just absolutely in front of as many people as you can find, your friends, family, whatever. Gather them all together, put this PowerPoint on, and then at the end have it revealed that this is Thomas's blog and have him face the consequences of that, because I'm sure people wouldn't be happy about it. Anyway, let's jump into the comments and see what they think. I own a guitar says, my goodness, OP, that's so awful. It makes me want to cry just hearing that this happened to you. The only thing you can do is talk to him about it. And I think you need to say something along the lines of this. To me, it is not just about the spirituality. I have grown up hearing people laugh at it and call it kooky and made up, strange and all of that. But it is my grandmother's business. It is my ancestry. And it is my heritage. To me, he is mocking those directly. It's not funny. It's not a laughing matter, and it is insanely disrespectful. And the fact that he's been carrying on with it for so long, I really can't wrap my head around why someone would mock something so personal and cherished that they supposedly love. That's the most childish thing I've ever heard. I had to go back and check his age at the top of the post. Confront him, OP. He needs to apologize, take this blog down, and beg for your forgiveness. To which OP responds, how do I confront him? I've honestly never had to confront someone about something like this before. To which Sleep Fight says, so I found your blog. That's literally all you need to say to start with. Focus on how it makes you feel and that you feel like he doesn't respect you. I would also consider keeping the funds you make from this business to yourself for the time being. If he can't respect it and actively trashes it, he doesn't deserve access to any of the profits, beyond paying bills, etc. To which OP says, oh, yes, my business is mine and he shares none of it. We are not married and have no joint finances other than me helping him out with his student loans, since I did not have them and prefer to help with something like that. To which Sleep Fight responds, I would recommend stopping helping him out with his student loans for now as well. He is being incredibly disrespectful about you and your relationship. It would be wise to create some consequences for his betrayal if you intend to continue the relationship. Anders McGee says, why does he even deserve a full confrontation? Do you need the closure? Because unless this is something you need, I'd pack your things, tell him you saw the blog and leave. Or better yet, ask him to leave instead. To which OP says, I'm not crazy about just upping and leaving without a word after 4 years. That's all. And one final commenter says, what is your boyfriend like in regards to the business? Is he supportive? Does he ever mock it openly to you or your friends? Or at the business? Is it an anonymous blog or is his ownership of it public? You say he never shared your spirituality, but does he follow his own religion? First off, I'm not trying to excuse his actions. That being said, if he's not religious at all, could his blog be his only reprieve, I guess, from your spirituality? Everyone else here has immediately chastised him for being a terrible person. I'm not going to argue one way or the other without knowing more about him and your relationship. That being said, speaking as someone who does not subscribe to any religion or spirituality, you seem pretty entrenched in the religion. You work every day at the store and you have a home altar in the home the two of you share dedicated to it. You probably talk about it a lot, and it's probably a big part of the majority of your friendships. I know if I was in his shoes and was with someone I loved and cared for immensely, who believed extremely heavily in something I found ridiculous, I would need some type of escape from it. I would never want to prohibit you from doing anything, and I would never ask you to change something you cared so much for, and would never put it down to you, your friends, or your family, but I would need some type of break from it. It seems like the blog is his only break, and kind of seems like it's the only one he ever gets, since he's not even free from it in his home. You need to discuss it with him as rationally or calmly as possible, and I know that's difficult when dealing with religion or spirituality, but it's absolutely necessary that no one lose their cool during the discussion. Anyways, with the limited info on here, that's my 2 cents. To which OP says, he doesn't mock it openly to anyone, of course. I would never stand for that. He does not follow his own religion, but he is not an atheist. He just hasn't found what works for him yet. But to be clear, it is not a big part of my friendships, and I don't really talk about it other than when he asks if anything interesting happens, or anything like that. He will come into the shop many days to bring me lunch or hang out on his break, which is where he gets his stories from. But once I leave the site, I don't talk about it to him because I was taught that work and home don't mix like that. OP does come in with the update around about 10 days later, saying, I had my heart set on not just getting up and leaving. There were still some things that we needed to talk about, so when I got home 2 days after I made that post and had time to think about it, I confronted him. I started reading one of his posts off to him. He asked me how I found it. I was honest and told him. He started getting annoyed and asked me why I was snooping. I wasn't. And then he started up with his defense before I could even get a word in. He told me that he always had a hard time understanding how I could be a part of something where there was no logic behind it. How I could take money from anyone knowing that that stuff is fake and everything. I let him say what he needed to say. I asked him, is that really how you feel? And he said yes, and that he was happy to finally get it off his chest. He just insulted me, my beliefs, my family history, all of it in the span of 20 minutes. I told him that if that's how he feels, he needs to leave. The place we live in was mine originally. He just moved in after we were dating for a while because it was easier. I didn't want to have to stoop that low, but living with someone who thinks that little of what I do in my business, the business that supported our very comfortable lives for all this time, isn't something that I can compromise on. He asked me if I was breaking up with him because of this, and that it was his right as an American with free speech to do what he's doing, and I'm trying to censor him like all religious nuts do. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, so I just asked him to leave. Over the next days, he collected his things, and when he got out his last box, he told me that he would not come back, but that I could bet he would still be posting on his blog about my shop. I think the last thing I said to him was to have fun with his 15 blog readers. I am really heartbroken over this and very sad it came to this. It's going to be a long time before I try dating again. It took 4 years, but his mask did eventually slip off, OP, and you know what? You're gonna come through this even better. You're gonna find somebody who supports you, your religion, your beliefs, your family, your heritage and your culture, and doesn't just trash them because they don't understand, they don't get it. And honestly, as a business owner, could you not take any legal action for this? I mean, I guess it would depend state by state and county by county in America, but I would assume that there's some kind of recourse you could take because he's actively slandering your business. You know, he's allowed to have his opinion, but putting it out there like that should probably be able to have some kind of recourse, like, right? Hopefully. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it today, guys. So, what do you think about this situation? How would you have handled it? Please do let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!